All right. Hopefully that works out. What's up, guys? It's us again. I'm Jackson.
I'm Alex.
And this is Hot Takes with God. So was it last week that we saw the movie?
The
King
Kong versus
Kong
Godzilla.
Kong versus Godzilla. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it this past week.
This past week.
Mhm.
It just sparked a lot of conversation about cinema and movies and where that's sort of gone and come from and is going, and the sort of different perspectives that, well, everyone has about it, but that we also have from each other about that, and because of where we've come from. So we wanted to talk about it a little bit. We thought that would be fun.
That's cool. So overall, big monkey versus giant lizard.
Radioactive,
Really cool fight scenes.
Yeah, as far as the fights go, the only complaint that I would have is that Godzilla didn't nuke anybody.
Yeah, he didn't do his big nuke.
He didn't do his nuke.
Which a lot of people died.
So many. I mean,
a lot of humans died.
Like, they showed a shot of them having bunkers for this. Titan bunkers. It said Titan bunker on the fucking door. And then it flashed, and it seemed like, oh, we're going to evacuate to the Titan bunker.
Then it shows the street, and it's just packed.
Just packed with people, and just
But you knew they were coming.
Throwing King Kong around. And, yeah, it showed earlier that they knew Godzilla was turning and headed towards Tokyo.
But not just that,
Or
but
Hong
even
Kong,
when they're on the boats, so many ships got destroyed.
So many ships got
and
destroyed.
then each one of those ships has a few thousand people in it.
Oh, spoilers, by the way.
Spoilers. Oh, ton of spoilers.
So many spoilers.
Well, we haven't spoiled anything. What humans died? Who cares? You're not here on what humans live. You're here to see if monkey or lizard wins.
Right.
And we're not going to tell you.
We're not going to tell you which one.
Maybe we will. No, I don't know.
Maybe we'll slip and actually tell you, but I don't intend to, so yes. But yeah, I mean, as far as humans went, nothing special there, really.
No, there's two good human characters.
Two good human characters. One was a deaf girl.
Mm-hmm.
She was great. Loved her.
Was she deaf or was she mute? Because I feel like she heard sound.
She felt, well...
They refer to her as, I think, deaf.
But they speak to her in sign language, not by talking. So I think she's mute and deaf. Because she feels vibrations and.
Well, if she's deaf, she's more likely not speaking. Most deaf people don't speak.
So I think she might have just been deaf.
Maybe, but I feel like she reacts to sound a lot.
I think she was reacting to vibration.
Yeah.
Because they're so big.
Yeah.
They're moving around.
Yeah, she feels heartbeat and whatnot.
Because it would go quiet, except for that. So I think she was just deaf.
Yeah, she was just deaf. Yeah.
She was great. Loved her.
Oh yeah, she was fantastic.
And then partially because the movie was incredibly loud, which of course it affected it to be. But I haven't been to a theater in what do we figure out, a year and a half, 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
So it's I was not fully prepared for that. But it was awesome.
It was very loud.
It was awesome. And then the guy who is the rapper in Atlanta, he's had several other smaller roles, but that's probably his biggest role that I can think of. Was he played a inside whistleblower skeptic guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he did really, really good. I thought that was he was obviously there as a partial part of the comedic relief. But he did a great job. Regardless, he was the one human being whose story I kind of cared about.
Yeah, him and the little girl.
And the little girl.
Everyone else
could have all died. Wouldn't have cared.
Wouldn't have cared. Didn't give anything. Didn't care.
Give
I don't care.
Nothing. I didn't give them anything.
Yeah, I mean, most of their storylines I felt like the movie could have done without.
But honestly, at the same time, the movie could have, it has in the past, gone way deeper into that. Part of the reason they were so bad is because they were very surface characters. They were there to risk things on behalf of King Kong.
I don't know. I guess I get the two I get confused about the most are two kids. Their storyline.
The little girl.
Yeah, a little girl and her friend. Yeah.
And her what friend?
The big, not deaf girl. No.
Oh, not deaf girl.
Not deaf girl. The two kids. The quote unquote like main characters. Like the famous girl and the guy.
Oh, Millie Bobby Brown, and the other guy who was the other part of the comedic relief.
Yeah.
Their nerdy best friend who had the sweet van.
Yeah, sweet van.
Yeah.
This is brother's van. Anyway.
Well, she was like the daughter.
Both of them could have been written off.
Oh yeah, totally could have been written off. 100%,
yeah,
100%.
No reason to be there.
I mean, they were mostly there, I felt like, to enable the skeptic guy. To like help him go full tilt, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think he didn't really need it. He didn't need it. He was already doing it. He was already like breaking into stuff and
yeah.
It was pointless characters.
I mean, it's Millie Bobby Brown. She's popular right now, so it's
they shoved her
money
in there.
Thing.
But it was
she was supposed to be the daughter of the
main
newscaster.
No.
Who was that guy?
He's
was
like the main.
Guy?
Yeah, he's one of a UN.
Okay.
Main reaction guy, leader to reaction
I knew
force
he was
of
in
Godzilla.
The previous Godzilla movie. I remember his face, but I couldn't remember what his purpose was.
Very little. Yeah, did next to nothing in this movie.
He didn't react at all, really.
No, I mean, he was the only possible thing he gave us, which could have been done by some throwaway character, which he was that he let us know that Godzilla was going to Hong Kong.
Yeah, he did let us know that Godzilla was going to Hong Kong. They figured that out.
That's it. That's the only thing his character did. It was just...
Pretty much, yeah. And then there was the whole thing. Well, I guess I don't know. That's kind of a big spoiler. I shouldn't.
I don't care that much about this movie to not spoil it. It's not a cinematic masterpiece by any means.
Energy core thing. They just upload it from the center of the earth.
Oh, like that.
That, over Wi-Fi, and then it's but then they immediately start to power up the machine with it.
Yeah,
but
using
it's
the same technology.
But you didn't create any. You didn't make anything with
it. No, I mean we can get into the logic breaking things that they did. There's a lot of it. I mean, it's Big Monkey versus Big
the main part of the movie, which is Big Monkey versus Big Lizard.
Spot on.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
just what I wanted.
Though the opening is cheesy.
Yeah,
awful.
It's just
cheesy.
The Shrek opening.
Yeah, Shrek opening. But without using Smash Mouth.
Without using Smash Mouth. They couldn't afford it.
Couldn't afford
Smash
Or they didn't think they had big enough balls to do it. But if they did it, then you have big enough balls to do anything.
Anything. The whole... I would have a lot less bad to say with the movie if they had done that.
If you open with that? Yeah. I mean, well... No, that's still the parts I didn't like. I still wouldn't have liked. It would have made it would have made the 4 characters I'm thinking of useful in any way.
I mean that's true. No character is useful. It's Big Monkey versus Big Lizard.
No, Deaf Girl.
Deaf Girl was useful.
Deaf Girl useful, and then
that kid who poured the drink, super useful.
Yeah,
super useful.
Super useful, but he could have just been that one.
Yeah, could have also been that other guy.
Yeah, I mean, their whole plot line could have just been him.
That guy, yeah.
That one guy, just going through it himself, and then... I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and, also the idea that, even as, kind of, not strung out, but, as, kind of, woo, as that guy was, the odds of someone, in, the real world taking, 2 children... middle schooler looking children show up and are let's break into this facility like you want to do. That's you gotta weigh your options there, bud, because if you get caught, odds that they're thinking that you kidnapped these kids or did some weird shit to these kids goes way the fuck up. Your prison sentence is gonna go way the fuck up. Probably.
I mean, yeah, he's got his dead wife.
He's got his dead wife to worry about.
Driving them forward. Driving them on.
That's true.
But yeah, I do believe this movie is a pretty good example of. Well, I've been going back and forth because I have said before this is where movies seem to be going into this more like amusement park cinema, which is how I describe it. Like your superhero movies, your big action amusement parks. Yeah, not much substance. But at the same time, if I look back at the history of not just film but also theater,
that's what's popular.
The what?
I mean, that kind of stuff is like spectacle is popular.
Yeah, immensely, and it's been around for a long time. And it was like I find my roots in the like Stanislavski and the group theater that eventually came from him that deals with realism.
Yeah.
So that's where I come from, and I guess I just have a weird view skew of like. Well, I guess I have a developing view of the, I guess, acting world and the theater world and the film world of that's where to me, where it came from, but it's not actually true. You could argue probably a better argument that it actually came opposite way, that it came from the amusement park side.
Well, like most of like American film and stuff comes from like Shakespearean influence.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't until the group theater,
and that's like built for that's
until
made
realism
for the
actually.
And, it's not this like I mean it has stuff going on like morality questions and like he has a lot of deeper stuff, but his most popular plays were like A Midsummer's Night Dream or Midsummer's Eve.
Midsummer's Night.
Midsummer's Night, yeah, and like Taming of the Shrew, and those sort of raunchy, gender swapped, crazy, bacchanalian, kind of things, and then before all that is like the Colosseum and those like these people like doing all this glory. I mean they had ships in there. That's wild. Spectacle.
Yeah, I mean the Romans did some crazy stuff.
Partied hard.
Yeah, they partied hard. They wanted to see it. They executed prisoners during plays. Like if someone was meant to die, if this character was supposed to die, they just kill someone. They would like.
Shit is wild.
Like it's crazy. I mean, they would take the Greek plays and. Where no one actually dies, they just act it, and then spice it up. Oedipus Rex, let's gouge those eyes out. Like, oh my god,
yeah,
they really took it to the next level. Yeah, but even you go back to the Greeks, like they would have like their costuming.
Oh yeah,
they would greatly exaggerate like the male genitalia. There's a lot of those, and then their mask work and this exaggeration of reality, and then showing that, and then the stories you tell through that. But I don't know. I guess now my problem with these, I guess, amusement park is that it's okay to show to have the big thing, but there still needs to be that underlying like good story.
Yeah.
That I just feel like it's
like the Matrix.
Yeah, Matrix. Great story.
Example.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I mean,
and
not so much the sequels.
No, not as much, but
the first one.
First one's spot on.
Sauce. It's good stuff.
Spot on. Yeah. So, I mean, there's definitely ways to do it.
Right.
That.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, even like, those old like Scorsese and shit, like they weren't like all like just dialogue and like, I mean, there was crazy shit going on with all those gangster movies and stuff. Like, there was tons of stuff going on. So it's not like, but it's when you leave the story behind in favor of or leave the story lacking a bit in favor of the spectacle.
The spectacle.
And sometimes I think like they probably go into it with like better intentions, but like it just gets to be too big. Like I think the Marvel universe, for instance, just got too big.
It's just massive, yeah.
Yeah. And I think they're like trying to bring it around to be more quality shit. Like I've heard.
Well, I've heard great things about WandaVision.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I've heard really, really good things about WandaVision. I've been meaning to
Yeah, I haven't watched any of it.
But I've heard good things about that. I mean, they're bringing in like new directors and stuff. I mean, like that most recent Thor movie was a lot better than like pretty much any previous Marvel movie.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, and had like a lot more story going on.
Yeah, I mean they got a lot. I mean the first two Thor movies were throwaways.
Trash.
Yeah.
So
they're figuring it out.
They're figuring some stuff out for sure. Because like in the beginning it was like Iron Man kind of had a story, like the first one, and they even kind of lost themselves in the weeds, and the next couple. But all the like group ones and there's just too much going on. There's like you can't. I feel like it's to make something like that also has as deep and intense a storyline. It's got to be like a 2-part kind of.
Yeah, it's also a rough one because you have to get someone that. Like, I feel like you have to approach it story first in order for it. Because if you're going through it like action first and then hoping the story comes along with it, you just your foundation's all messed up.
Yeah,
you're not able to actually build off it.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see where they go with some of their more recent stuff. Because I mean Disney's kind of seems like they're kind of trying to figure some shit out about, because like Mandalorian, like that's really good, but like the Star Wars trilogy was like
great, yeah. I mean their whole plan. I don't know who planned that out or thought that was.
We talk about it a lot. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because it wasn't a trilogy that was thought up as a trilogy. They approached it movie to movie, which is the most, like, to me, the most blatantly wrong thing to do for a trilogy.
You knew that. And then you proceeded to make each movie individually instead of creating a large story that you broke into 3 parts.
Yeah, and this didn't. And then, I mean, the original plan was to have 3 different directors.
Yeah.
And then they just got to the second one. It's like, oh wow, this guy took it in a really different direction. Which, okay, but got the backlash because it's different direction than what the first one that you established. And then you get to the third one, you're like, all right, well, we're going back to the first one. It's like, well, you can't really do that now because you have the second one, and now you're just saying like well, all these kind of plot lines we were opening up, get them out of here.
We're not
get these characters out of here. And I felt so bad for that one actress.
Yeah,
she got cut down from like a major role to 3 lines.
And she was like, some of those characters were some of those interesting characters in the friggin' movie.
It was just so they fumbled that.
They fumbled that pretty hardcore. So I think they're definitely trying to come back. And Mandalorian seems to be their
Mandalorian and
first attempt. Hopefully this Kenobi show is gonna be lit. That would be really sad if not. Yeah, but I think it's Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen's coming back. Friggin' Liam Neeson wants to. He's been wanting to play. He's been wanting more Qui-Gon Jinn content.
But everyone in the Star Wars universe is like, as a ghost? Like, what do you want, Liam Neeson? I don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. An early day.
He's so much older.
This
now.
Obi-Wan Padawan. Oh yeah, I mean he's way too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you want, Liam Neeson.
Bring it back as a ghost. Like I'm into that, Cool.
Have a whole ghost series.
Oh my god.
With all the ghost boys, yeah. Yoda, Anakin, Obi-Wan, yeah. That'd be ridiculous.
That'd be hilarious.
No.
But yeah, I still stand firmly behind. They just need to like stop the progression of where they're currently at, universe-wise,
movies-wise, yeah.
Just plug in somewhere else. Like, if it's got to be about Jedi, then like that's fine. But like, let's do like Knights of the Old Republic
and I feel like that's what they're moving towards.
Yeah.
I keep hearing Revan get thrown around, but I feel like I've heard that for years.
I keep hearing Keanu Reeves and Revenant thrown around.
I mean, that would be.
Yeah, that would be. Crazy.
That'd be something else, but I mean, just going Old Republic would be nice.
Yeah. It'd just be a totally new set of like everything.
Yeah.
And like the amount that you could expand upon it, like, it's just a brand new project that.
Yeah, and if you want to, there's so much material out there. Like, if you don't want to have to come up with everything, you don't have to.
You don't have to, yeah.
And the fans will love you more if you actually use
stuff.
some of the...
Or even do some post, or like, I guess, like focus on some Darth Vader stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much good content for that.
So much good. And like, also, like, you got really close to doing a bad guy movie with Adam Driver.
Mm-hmm.
You could have done that, and you didn't, and we'll always be a little bit sad about it because he was a much better character, or at least he did a lot more with what was given to him than anyone else did.
He did a lot.
He carried that, really carried it, in my opinion. At least once they had written off everyone else, it was pretty much just on him.
Yeah, basically. It screwed over several.
Focus on some bad guy stuff. Like, that'd be cool. I don't know. There's stuff out there.
Yeah, they just make me sad. They just really fumbled it.
Yeah.
Drop the ball.
Disney.
Drop the ball. Made me sad. Like, I mean, there was at a point in the newest movie where I was like, I decided to like the movie.
Yeah.
Like, mid-movie. I was like, I don't care anymore.
I'm just kidding.
I like this movie. Yeah. But it was just not good. It was just cheap writing.
I've maybe seen them all once.
There was so many, like, no stakes. Zero stakes. At all.
No stakes.
Absolutely. Everyone but one person that died didn't come back. And quite a few people died. Only one of them actually died. That's ridiculous. Don't ever do that.
Don't wreck on that many people.
No. If they're dead, they're dead. Great. I had a wonderful moment. Wow, you ripped them away from me. Oh, they're back? Why? Get them fuck out of here. Like, you ripped them away. Keep them away. If you're killing Chewbacca, kill Chewbacca. If you're killing C-3PO, kill C-3PO.
Yeah.
If you're killing a bunch of rebels, put them down. Like, don't do this to me.
Don't send phasers to stun.
Don't blow up a ship and make her. Oh my god. Oh, they're fun.
Oh, they're fun.
They're fun.
They're fun. They're totally fun.
It was like a textbook example of pointless scenes.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that is, just pointless time.
Yeah. Now, speaking of pointless time, we're currently about halfway through the Zack Snyder cut.
Oh yeah.
Which we figured out at like 11:45 last night that we are only 2 hours in to the 4-hour movie. We were like, okay, well, let's go to bed and we'll come back to this. So I guess after this,
I mean, I don't know why they didn't put an intermission in there. They need to.
Yeah.
They need to bring that back. I mean, was it something of Arabia? Lawrence of Arabia. You got like a 15-minute intermission in that. It's like a 5-hour-long movie, so you need it.
It's a phenomenal movie.
Phenomenal. Like, it's just a textbook example of how long movies are done well.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. I go see it, no, I mean, maybe things will be open by then. But the Orpheum in Memphis does like a summer movie series every year, and it's super awesome. And they always do, they almost always do Lawrence of Arabia. They always do one of the Harry Potter movies, although they might have done all 8 by now, so I don't know. I also don't really care about seeing a Harry Potter movie anymore. That's kind of, those days are behind me, I think. But they do a bunch of they do a good mix of old classics and newer classics and stuff, and it's really good. They always do why does this happen every single time?
They start blanking.
I start to bring up someone and then I can't. It's a director from the 60s. Did a lot of cool dramas. The Birds movie, when the
Oh,
birds
it's not
attack.
Spielberg, is it?
Yeah, there it is.
Spielberg?
Yeah, I couldn't think of the name. There's always like one or two like classic Spielberg movies.
He's got so many good ones.
Yeah. Um, and it's it's like in the big nice like Orpheum Theater, and they always do like no matter what the movie. I think they always do it at intermission. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but we can go. Maybe that's when we can go to Memphis, so we can go for.
I know it's interesting. So well, I want to talk about this for a second. Of the use of intermissions, and it's as far as movies are concerned, basically been phased out.
Yeah.
And in theaters, we still get you normally at least get one.
Typically. Yeah.
Typically, now we did a show. Actually, we just passed the year anniversary for it a little while ago. Shadow Kids, in which we had 2 intermissions.
Right.
Yeah, because we thought, well, it was really heavy content, so we want immensely heavy content.
And there were 2 spots. And
there were 2 good spots
really
to do it. Yeah, on whether or not actually giving the audience a couple more times to like stop and digest what they've seen, on whether or not that's actually a better way to go about it instead of just constantly trying to like ride the wave. Mm-hmm. And I don't know which way is necessarily better. I'm curious.
I feel like I remember more about the whole play than I would like, or any play, beginning and end, than I do about the first time I see a movie. Because I'm given that opportunity to like sit with the beginning half for a second, and sort of be like, oh yeah, that happened and that happened and that happened, and then like the next half happens. Whereas like all the time in movies, like I kind of forget the beginning parts sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, quite often I'll completely forget how a movie opened.
Yeah.
Which is rough because the opening is such an important, like it sets the tone.
It's huge.
It sets everything.
It's huge. And I like, it's not that I'm not paying attention. Like, the opening has its effect on me.
Yeah.
When it's happening. It's just that I don't necessarily always remember it. But I mean, not a lot of movies that are coming out these days are all that memorable, to be honest. I think the last like really, really, really quality, like cinematic, no one could argue this film that I saw was probably The Lighthouse.
I hesitate to really comment on the current, I guess, condition of the film world because of the sheer amount of films, and I just don't watch enough of them. No, and even the ones that I've heard are from like theater professors, from people that I really respect their artistic views, are saying like this is amazing, and I still haven't seen it. Yeah. And there's like dozens of them over the past just 10 years that I haven't touched. So it's kind of.
I mean, there's a lot of movies out there, but I mean. I feel like you can make a judgment call.
No, I mean I wouldn't. At least for me, I don't believe I've seen enough. It's hard. I mean I can say based on the ones I've seen, but
I mean that's all that anyone ever does.
I mean Joker was really good. Lighthouse was really good. I thought they were. Well, Joker I thought was a really nice, like full. Here's your story, beginning, middle, end. Yeah. Not many questions, but if you look deep enough, like more likely all of that was just in his head. And I've heard that theory, and it's based off of all of the clocks are set to the exact same time in the movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one definitely succeeded at making me feel very uneasy
and
anxious like the entire time. Like I didn't enjoy watching it, and I don't think I was supposed to. Like I thought it was really good, but I didn't have like a fun time.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like going to see Godzilla versus Kong. Like I didn't have a. Same thing with Lighthouse. I didn't have a good time watching that movie. That movie made me very anxious and like very like uncomfortable.
But then I thought nonstop about it for like 2 days.
Yeah, but then I like, couldn't stop thinking about it for a really long time.
It's such amazing. I still need to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, it's just so much to just take in, like all the crazy shit that happens in that movie.
That's one movie that needed an intermission.
Yeah,
let me digest some of it, because there's so much. And I mean, it was very clear that parts of the film weren't real, were in his head.
But it's like, which ones?
When, and I mean, I do believe there is a tell. And I thought it was like based off him smoking, but I have to go back and rewatch it to actually nail that down. At least my theory. But yeah, I mean, that was an excellent movie.
It's awesome, really good stuff.
So like, there is good stuff coming out, but it's also it's a money industry, and most.
And movies,
and it's rough to say most people, because that's such a wrong statement in general. Like, I know what most people, but most people aren't necessarily going to movies to have an artistic experience of, I'm here to feel emotions, not necessarily the good ones. I would say most people aren't really going to movies for that. So it's kind of the, like, why Kong exists.
Or at least, like, maybe not necessarily that, but, like, not necessarily going to a movie to, like, be taught a lesson or, like, challenged mentally. They're, like, most people, and, like, a lot of the times, myself included, like, I'm just looking for entertainment. You know, like, there's, I don't know, I watch a lot of movies, and I like the Avengers movies. I recognize that they're not really, really good quality, you know, mind-challenging cinema, but they're entertaining, like, for the most part, you know, and I'm not one of those, like, crazy fans that, like, is, you know, like, die hard about it, like, you know, whatever, I don't really care. But I'll see them for the most part when they come out. Like, I won't go to theaters, but, like, I'll watch them, and I'll watch the whole thing, and I'll have a pretty good time doing it. But there's also, like, there are movies out there, like you said, that, like, I know are, like, super quality movies that, like, my dad made me watch, or told me I should watch, or my professors told me I should watch, that, like, I still haven't watched, partially because it's, like, I don't necessarily want to, I don't feel like I have the, like, emotional space in my, like, day to then, like, spend 2.5 hours, like, hammering whatever that, like, weird art house film has to offer me into myself. It's just not my vibe a lot of the time.
Yeah, sometimes it's a big commitment.
Yeah.
To watch a really good movie.
Yeah, it is. That being said, I mean, there are some, like, directors that I want to get, like, more into. Like, I mean, I really like, I mean, we both really like Quentin Tarantino, and there's some of his really early stuff that I didn't even know existed until, like, 6 months ago.
I think I've seen everything.
I don't know. There's some, like, films that I, like, aren't normally, like, I just never had heard of before that he did, that I don't really know how to access.
Yeah.
But there's also, like, Wes Anderson.
Yeah, I need to get a Wes Anderson more.
I've seen a few of them, and they're, I mean, like, just visually, like, like, color and the way it all, like, plays off of each other, and
yeah, he's a master at that.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And then, like, you got your Zack Snyders, which, like, I mean, genuinely, I believe, can construct some of the most beautiful scenes, like, given the opportunity and the right like, ask, you know, can produce a really beautiful visual piece of art. But from what I've seen of at least his play in the DC universe, something's not jiving there. It's just like he seems like he's having a hard time like getting a story to like really take root, and like it doesn't seem like he's starting with the story. Or maybe he's just like being given bad script. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
really
part of it is he's not necessarily writing it. He's like directing it, and then at the same time, not even necessarily editing it. It's once you get into big budget films, it's so weird. Like you have.
So I'd like to see
some. You're lucky to have a really good producer.
I'd like to see some of the stuff that he's like written and directed.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like, I'm sure that's out. I'm sure there's something out there that he's done on his own, not controlled by whatever conglomerate controls DC.
Whoever.
But yeah. As of yet, I'm not his biggest. I mean, he should be a director of photography. Like he's really really good at that. He's got the photographer eye, 100%. I think, just like so. Yeah, I don't know. Probably just should have got mixed up with DC. I feel like no one should really, no like really art style director is gonna mesh well in that sort of.
No. Not unless they're willing to just give you the reins.
Give you complete control.
Yeah.
Which, like, that's why the whole Star Wars thing because they weren't willing to give George Lucas everything. And he was like, all right, cool, have fun. And now, apparently, rumors have it that they're, like, basically giving him everything he wants in full control to come back and get them out of this hole they're in.
Yeah, I mean, for Disney, it's like you've made back all the money you've spent on Star Wars.
100%.
Easily.
Just on merch.
Just on merch, period. Yeah, not ticket sales, not amusement park sales, not any of that. Advertising.
Not to mention that's all skyrocketed.
Yeah, so it's like, what's the point? What's
subscriptions?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and that whole thing, opening your own.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of like now you're not having to, like, you don't have to have contracts with all these other people. Like, you've got all your stuff under your roof that you're making money on. Like, yeah,
just give the man the reins, and if he messes up, he messes up. Whatever. Right. If Star Wars is dead, it's fine. You've already milked the cow. Like
you've milked the cow. You've got some good TV shows coming on the line. Maybe that'll support you for a little while,
and it will make you billions of dollars going down the road, even if he just buries it, destroys it. You still got the original 3. Yeah, and then the 3 after that, and not that bad.
The prequels, pretty fucking solid.
Pretty fucking solid. Yeah.
We
and then they got like several TV shows that were like spot on.
So you're good stuff.
You're set. You're set.
Fine.
You're fine.
You're fine.
So just let them have the rings.
Yeah. I wonder what, like... So now they've got Star Wars and Marvel, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, they're not going to stop there.
No.
Like, what's next?
What are they going to buy next?
Yeah,
and what else is there?
That's kind of the thing.
People got to be starting.
Like, what are they going to make next?
We just got to start making new...
Right. They got to start making new content.
Yeah.
But, like, what is that even going to look like? Like, I feel like no one's, like, on such a large production scale, no one's done that in such a, seems like a really long time.
Game of Thrones. Like,
but that was off a book.
It was off a book, yeah, I know, but as far as, like...
rerunnings of, like, redoings of other film and stuff?
Well, basically, someone making new fantasy.
Yeah.
When's the last time someone's made new stuff? Yeah. That's one of the last ones I can think of. I mean, there was...
Yeah, on that, it got to that scale.
Yeah.
There's been several that have tried. I mean, there's the Aragon series.
Yeah.
The books were really, really good. The movies...
I mean, it was just one movie.
The movie
didn't do
just
nothing.
went kaput. And then there was the Percy Jackson books, which, again, the books were really popular, but the movie...
kaput. Yeah.
Which apparently they're rebooting that.
As they should.
So... maybe it'll be good. Yeah, I mean, like, Game of Thrones, then before that was probably, like Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, yeah.
Yeah, where are we going to go next? What's the next...
And they're still milking that for as much as they can.
Oh, yeah, which is, I mean, from what I've heard, Sorry about that. From what I've heard, is not nearly as good. I mean, I think I saw maybe like the first 20 minutes of the first like Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
And I was just like, nah, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
And I like grew up with the stuff. Like if they had continued doing Harry Potter family content, they probably would have kept me for at least a little while longer. But they just totally were like, all right, like that thing that we spent like a decade of your life building.
That's a nice story. Let's take
just
this world
shelve it over here. Let's take this
America.
world and go to America and
do this whole thing.
Do this whole weird thing.
Yeah. Are they based off books? Or are they just their own?
Yeah. There are book versions. I don't know which
came first.
Necessarily came first, or like how they both came about. You know. But yeah, they did a play version, like a musical maybe, of it's called The Cursed Child, and I think that's Harry Potter's kid, which is like the content that everybody was like, woo, and then they were like, oh yeah, it's actually a screenplay. It's like a screenplay, or it's like a play, and everyone was like, oh,
what?
Yeah, it's super confusing. I mean, J.K. Rowling went, kind of insane. Like,
yeah, she's gone insane.
She started doing all kinds of crazy stuff and speaking out against, like, LGBT and trans people. Yeah, it's gotten kind of insane. But also, Dumbledore was gay. It's like, which, I guess I could have seen that. Yeah, I can see how that was. But, like, why didn't you write that in? Like, why did you just, like...
I've never read the books. I've only watched the movies. It didn't play.
Doesn't make a difference.
No, it doesn't make a difference.
No.
At all.
No. The only time that it ever, like, you're like, you could maybe have made the assumption is, like, in, like, the last book, they get kind of into his history with Grindelwald, which is like the before Voldemort ultimate baddie.
Yeah.
And like they're like youth together and but they never like say that they like it never says in the book that they were like it just says they were like best friends, like they're like brothers.
Yeah.
And so then her like 10 years later being like, yeah, actually they were gay lovers together. It's like, okay, I guess, but like that doesn't change anything about the book at all whatsoever, or the movies. Yeah, super weird. Yeah, that series I feel like is, I guess it'll continue to be popular with younger audiences, like for a long time, yes. I assume, but it's like, unlike Star Wars in the sense that like people that saw Star Wars when they were a kid now are like 40 or whatever, and like still love it, but like I feel like a lot of people sort of like they like grew up with Harry Potter,
kind of
have come to the point where it's like, okay, like it's cool.
I wonder if it's because
I have fond memories of it.
It's like from Harry Potter's point of view, and he's a kid, so it just
if that plays more into it. Part,
and Star Wars is from
adult perspectives.
Yeah,
pretty much the whole time. Yeah, that's true. Because the older books are definitely harder to read now because they're just like, why are you making like you're so stupid, Harry?
Hey, you're so stupid.
You're so stupid. You're so silly. But yeah, I don't know. I think the last... I went to, like, Harry Potter, like I went to, like, the set in London. Like, when we were in London. Like, that was part of the trip that we did. And it was awesome. But, like, I guess mostly it's been, like, the past, like, year or two that I've, like, been like, all right, well, I think that chapter is... Close. Like, I think I started a Harry Potter movie, and I was like... No, I don't wanna.
Fair enough.
I was like, I guess that's done.
That's
like,
funny. Yeah. No, I mean, I never really got into Harry Potter all that much.
I loved them. Like the books when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, I
So I
mean,
was like the same age as Harry was, like for the most part,
mhm.
for the first few, anyways.
I mean, I remember everyone around me being like really into it. People were like, "Oh, what house are you in? What?
There were people,
Have you taken the test? What house are you in?
We're
gonna
like
go play
Quidditch,
Quidditch."
like for like devil worship, and like there were people like I mean, granted, my family at the time went to a Southern Baptist church, and so there's some people that thought some kind of crazy things without ever actually like looking into them at all. But like,
Yeah, that's a lot of them.
I had friends that like couldn't, their parents wouldn't allow them to read it because it was like of the devil, like it was like magic and Satan worship, and I was like, whoa.
Never understood that stuff. Where in the Bible does it talk about that? What?
Yeah, it's just pagans tried to try magic out, I guess, and we don't like that because we're Christians. But also, it's like you being so afraid of it, like, kind of gives it power. Like, kind of it's gonna make your kids want to do it more.
Yeah, it's just a silly thing. Just
Yeah.
people get stuck in their minds of how it should be, regardless of if they have any grounds of why it should be like that.
Well, it's like it seems like you think that I can go read these books and learn how to do spells and like cast spells on you. Like that's what when you're so upset about it, that's what I think is that like in your mind you somehow believe that sorcery is like
Maybe, I mean, at the bare minimum, they're thinking it's a gateway drug. That
Yeah.
it opens you to the thought of like, okay, well, magic, and then okay, well,
drugs.
yeah, drugs, and oh, well, this satanic guy seems cool. He's doing magic, and I figured out
Magic. Well, like how many people
I don't know. I mean, I don't
really worship Satan? Like earnestly.
Earnestly?
Like in a non-ironic sort of like even the Church of Satan seems to be sort of an ironic enterprise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a few of them that are.
Oh yeah, I mean there's like some crazy people that are like serial killers and stuff that probably worship the devil as like because he's the sort of predetermined widespread evil guy.
I don't know. I put more of it on. It's not necessarily that they believe it. It's people that are wanting an identity, and once they've chosen it, they just go all in. It doesn't matter if there's actual like them thinking things through. It's just this is what they do. This is what I do.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can find that any walk of life.
It's true. The book Paradise Lost. Or the like colonial times. It's like intended to like reaffirm God's like ultimate like rightness and like sovereignty.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's parts of it that are from Lucifer's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and Lucifer makes so much sense. You're like, wow, this guy dude is a real dick.
Oh,
like
yeah. If you actually start thinking about the stuff,
yeah,
Lucifer's not that bad of a guy.
Yeah, he just wanted equality and freedom.
Yeah, he wanted us not
knowledge.
to be basically slaves or pets.
Yeah.
But he gave us knowledge, and that made us scared. So this guy punished us. Like our first thoughts were to not necessarily trust this being that was trapped because we terrified him. So they hid, and for that first sin of hiding from God, they were cast into the world to suffer.
Well, they ate the fruit.
They ate the fruit, which they weren't supposed to, which at the same time,
that was
was
going to
just
get them thrown out.
knowledge.
Yeah. No, they weren't supposed to gain it out. They weren't supposed to know the
Which is
difference between good and evil. They were just supposed to follow.
Yeah, ridiculous. Like that's not
Yeah.
just blind subservience.
It's like you'll live a good life, but you'll have to do whatever I say, and you won't really know if it's right or not. Yeah, no, I mean, super messed up for sure. I don't understand. There's so many people who I know are like critical thinkers that just don't seem to. There's a what's it called? It's like a disassociation or something. I don't. That's not what it's called exactly, but it's something like that. Where cognitive dissonance, where you just have these two things that are like not morally opposed, but like diametrically opposed to one another. But because one thing is like your belief, you make it work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just so I don't know. I mean, like I get it. It's comforting for sure.
Yeah, it'd make things a lot easier just to.
I definitely find myself when I'm stressed out, like my mind goes back to that, like 10-year-old, like what do you do when you're scared? Like you pray, or you try to find some outlet to take care of you. But that's doesn't seem to be how it works. But yeah, we got off onto a really weird.
This weird one. There. Anyway.